So, you know what's hypocritical when it comes to ordering, wrestling events, maybe even MMA events and all that, off pay-per-view? You know what's hypocritical? What's hypocritical is there are certain promotions that will charge you around $40 to $50, right? To watch the event live. And these promotions nowadays know that you're going to probably DVR the event to watch whenever you want, right? Well, here's what's interesting. When I first recorded my DVR recording of the very first official, keyword official, AEW event back in 2019, which was Double or Nothing, when I first DVR'd that, my plans were to record it or put it onto DVD, courtesy of my DVD recorder. And guess what? I succeeded. No issues. But then guess what happened later on? I tried once more. There was an issue. That's right. I couldn't record it. And why couldn't I record it? Mainly due to the fact that they decided to go the copy protection route. And I'm thinking, okay, fine. Copy protection, not a big deal. At least I could say I watched it, right? But here I am, a fan who doesn't watch wrestling as much as I used to, but still keeps in the know. So here I am, a fan that, wants to see this event, and, knowing that I live with family who will basically, that being my mom, will delete, without asking me, will delete some programming that I DVR so she can make room for her programming, which is mainly like the Connors, mostly Hallmark movies. You get the idea. Well, you would think someone like me, when they would get opportunities to do so, would want to have, said event on another form of media because of that kind of a situation occurring. And you would think a wrestling company, either it's AEW or whoever, would be cool with that. Nope, they wouldn't be. Because even though it was fine the first time, on the very first official pay-per-view, Double or Nothing, afterwards, nope. They're not cool with it. And it's not just them either. It's WWE as well. Excuse me. Yeah, it's WWE as well. Excuse me again. Because I can recall ordering some pay-per-views, I think it was WrestleMania a little afterwards. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm DVRing them, I'm going to watch them later, I'm going to record them onto DVD, right? But then the same thing happens there. Now I'm going to give WWE a pass, seeing as though they have their own streaming services, or their own streaming service or platform, now part of Peacock and on its own worldwide, internationally. I'll give them a pass because, with streaming services, you're more, likely to be able to gain the show, gain the event, if you will, and put it onto another form of media to watch it whenever you want, just in case something happens. So I'll give them a pass there, seeing as though a lot of cable providers that are trying to also integrate streaming into their services view something like Peacock as a third-party app. So I'll give them a pass there, slightly. But when I look at something like AEW, Impact, and Ring of Honor to an extent, I look at promotions that, for some odd reason, don't understand that, when somebody orders something on pay-per-view, not only are they spending money that amounts between $40 to $50, but as well as potentially DVRing it to watch it whenever they want, but they also are buying the right, if you will, to record it, to do whatever they want with it. And yet, lately, that's not the case. Lately, AEW has decided not to allow that to happen, and I'm sure, maybe to an extent, Impact Wrestling and somewhat Ring of Honor have done the same thing. Not saying they have, because they might be different than AEW. But still, I find it hypocritical that a promotion, and I'm not trying to bash AEW as an overall promotion. They're one of the best right now. They got, as some people put it, they got something for everybody, which is which is a positive, a major positive. But if you're a promotion that's trying to be an alternative to WWE, and you're also trying to promote yourself as a promotion for the fans, then that should not just include fans that attend your events, fans that are watching at home on a weekly basis, but it should also include fans that like to order the pay-per-view events that you do 4 times a year to be able to, record them and watch them whenever they want. You should, if you're that kind of a promotion that's about the fans, you should allow the fans the opportunity to not only order your pay-per-view, which could be around $50, but to also be able to have it whenever they want, not just through DVRing, but recording onto a physical media like VHS or DVD. But yet you don't get that. And I bring all this up because we recently had the World on GCW pay-per-view. GCW, Game Changer Wrestling's first official traditional pay-per-view event. Not an event on Fight, not an event on YouTube, but the first official traditional pay-per-view event that you had to spend money for that would be added onto your cable bill. In this case, it was $25. Not bad, right? So I figured, okay, I'm going to order it, but I'm going to order the on-demand version because I was working when it came on officially live on Sunday. So I figured, okay, I'm going to watch the on-demand version, right? So I do that, and I'm enjoying myself. I watch it initially first, yesterday, kind of watch it sporadically in between. I take a break, come back and watch it at night while my mom is in the living room relaxing after a hard day at work. So I do all that, right? And I'm enjoying it. I thought it was a good show, as I mentioned in my review. But then I decide, okay, I have this huge stack of recordable DVDs that I want to utilize to record things, right? So I figure, okay, what can I do to really make sure I have this? Because, on-demand rentals will only last 24 to 48 hours. So I figure, okay, what can I do to really utilize this, right? Or really make sure I have this, in my possession. So I decide I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to do what I've tried to do before with AEW, and that's record the event onto DVD. So I'm thinking, all right, that one or two things is going to happen. One, I'm going to get the copy protection warning on my screen, courtesy of my recorder, saying that I can't record this. All right, fine, not a problem. I'll just rewatch the event one more time before it expires. Not a problem. Then, or two, what could happen is I'll be able to record it, and I'll be able to watch it whenever I want. Right? Not a problem. So, like I said, one or two things will happen. I either get the copy protection warning, or I'll be able to record the entire event. Well, guess what? Option 2 became a reality. Because after waiting 5 to 10 seconds, that's usually what I do, 15 at most, I ended up realizing that I'm able to record, or I'm being allowed, without an issue, I'm being allowed to record said event. And like I said, and the other attempts trying to do this video, here's the proof of it. This is the proof. So that begs the question, why doesn't any other promotion allow you to do that? AEW, WWE, Impact and Ring of Honor to an extent. Why don't they allow you to do that? Why don't they say, hey, you're spending your money, you're spending this hard-earned money of yours to, order this big event of ours, because we rarely do events all the time, like let's say AEW, Impact, and all them. So, hey, you want to record it, you want to DVR it, and then record it later on to something else, not a problem. So again, my question is, why don't they allow us to do it? Huh? Why do you have a promotion like GCW, and probably some other various independent promotions like them, allowing you to record their events, not just DVR-wise, but on physical media, and you have AEW, you have WWE, and like I said, maybe to an extent, Ring of Honor, Impact, why are they holding off? Why don't they allow you to do it? And I think I may know the answer. I think I may know the answer. You see, the reason they don't allow you to do it is because they have to, is because basically they're going, not have to, but basically because of the fact that they are going to sell the event later on physical media themselves. And in their minds, it's bad business that if they allow someone to order and DVR that event that they're going to put onto physical media later on themselves, they think it's bad business that that person will also be able to have the right to record the event on their own physical media. And why? Because by having that occur, they lose out on money, from selling the DVDs and Blu-rays of said event. They lose out on that money. So that's why you have the copy protection warning showing up. Whether you're using a Blu-ray, DVD recorder, or even a VHS recorder, this is why you have some kind of distortion or warning coming up. Because they don't want to lose out on any money. They don't want to lose out of making any money, I should say, on selling the DVDs and Blu-rays of said events. But here's the thing. Like I said earlier, WWE, I think, is an exception because they're trying to go away from physical media and focus on the streaming. One, because they feel streaming is the future, right? Like everybody does. But the reason I say they're an exception is because you have all these third-party, not third-party, but you have all these cable outlets that look at a streaming service like Peacock and consider it a third-party app. And because they consider it that opens the door to allow folks like me to put one of their events, if not all of their events, on physical media. That's right. Again, in the past, and no, not in the past, but again, WWE, like AEW, look, they are copy protection of this stuff when it's traditional pay-per-view. But if it's not, and it's something like Peacock, that's the exception. Again, but here, I want to give you an example. I want to give you an example of what I'm talking about, and I know I sound like I'm rambling and not making sense here. I do apologize. But I want to, this is what happens when you do things uncut and unscripted. You got to think about what you're going to say. But let me explain something. In the past, I would use Netflix, to watch stuff, right? Because I have a Netflix account. Well, Netflix is one of the apps that is on the Xfinity service. And basically because they're a third-party app, mainly because they get paid separately and it's a different account, because they're a third-party app, guess what? You can actually use your recordable device, whether it's a VHS, DVD, or if you're lucky to have a Blu-ray recorder, to record the movies or shows they have on there and not worry about anything. Not worry about a copy protection warning coming up, not worry about distortion on your VHS. You'll be able to record without an issue. And the reason being is because they're not a part of the service. They're not a part of the service. That is why people will look at Peacock and be like, with WWE, that's going to be an exception. That's going to be an exception. But unless basically there's no streaming outlet for said promotion, that's a different story. That's a different story. But again, getting back to this whole thing with me being able to record the World on GCW deal, I find it hypocritical that they allow it through on demand, and basically AEW doesn't allow you to do it either way. Or even Impact to an extent, or Ring of Honor, or whoever. Maybe even the NWA. They don't allow you to do it, to an extent. And again, it's all because of the fact that they want to make money off selling the physical media of said event themselves. And that if people like me, record said event, either through our DVR recording of the live event, or the live event period itself as we're watching it happen in real time, or even on demand, they realize that they lose money. They will lose money, which is why they don't allow it to happen. But you might ask yourself, well, how were you able to do it with GCW? And I think it's because it's, like I said, it's GCW's first traditional nationwide, worldwide pay-per-view, that's not just a fight exclusive. It is on traditional cable pay-per-view. And I think, basically because of that, they haven't, like learned the ropes yet about, protecting stuff. So I don't think it's an issue, for them just yet. I don't think it's an issue for them just yet. And also, you got to remember, they are a smaller independent promotion that some consider the third largest promotion outside of AEW and WWE. So because of that, it seems that they're more freelance. They don't have a problem with anything. And I don't think, honestly, unless, you go to GCWmerch.com, I don't think, honestly, they sell DVDs of said events just yet. I mean, I'm sure they're going to want to do the World on GCW event on DVD and maybe even Blu-ray down the line. But because that's not a priority for them right now, I don't think there's any reasoning for, Brett Lauderdale or whoever to basically tell the cable companies, the next time they do a pay-per-view, hey, make sure nobody uses a recordable device to record this. So that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. But again, I find it kind of weird that a company like GCW, even if it's the first one, is allowing you to do it, even if it's, DVR recording, watching in real time or in demand like this one was. I find it hard to believe, hard to believe that they allow you to do it, but AEW, WWE, somewhat, Ring of Honor, Impact, maybe even NWA to an extent, don't. But again, there's a reasoning why that is too, because they want to sell and make money off the DVDs and Blu-rays of the event that they sell them, when they sell them themselves. If you catch my drift. So overall, I just find it like a little weird and a little hypocritical, because because here's the thing, even if GCW would have done the copy protection deal, there's going to always be another promotion out there that will allow you to record the event. So I find it kind of weird and hypocritical that you have the third largest promotion, as people consider it, in wrestling in the U.S. today, in Game Changer Wrestling, allowing you to do these recordings, either whether it's DVR, whether or not it's off a DVR recording, or watching in real time or on demand. I find it hypocritical and weird that they allow it to happen, but yet AEW, WWE to a point, and to an extent Impact, Ring of Honor, and NWA don't. But again, as I explained, they have a reasoning, and that reasoning is because they make money off said DVDs and Blu-rays of the events that they sell themselves. But that shouldn't even be an issue. That shouldn't be an issue, if you know what I mean. Because if WWE is willing to embrace the streaming-only platform, the digital-only platform, especially with the network on Peacock and on its own internationally, and they're going to abandon physical media in favor of it, I think WWE realizes, look, we're making enough money, with all this stuff. It's not going to matter to us if people decide to, record through the recording device, whatever device they use, any of our events, because, hey, we're making money off them anyway. But yet AEW, doesn't want you, yet AEW is protective of it. Like I said, to an extent, Impact and Ring of Honor potentially are, and so is the NWA. So it's kind of weird that the two promotions right now, GCW and somewhat WWE, don't have a problem with it. It's weird. It's weird and hypocritical. So if I'm AEW, and I don't want something like GCW to overtake me as the number 2, or in some people's minds, the number 1 promotion, then I do what's right. And I allow people not just to order the pay-per-view events of my promotion when they come on, as well as DVR them, or even order them on demand, but I also allow them to record them onto any media they want so they can watch it at any time. Because if you're trying to be a promotion about the fans, prove it. Prove that you are. Prove that you are. Because right now, to me, this is proof that if even if a promotion that's considered the third largest promotion in the country, if not the world, allows you to do this, even with the first pay-per-view, which should have been copy protected, period, then what is stopping you, AEW? What is stopping you, Impact? What is stopping you, NWA and Ring of Honor? And to an extent, WWE, but not so much anymore. What's stopping you from allowing fans to do the same? Nothing. Nothing is stopping you, and you know it. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think it's kind of weird and hypocritical that GCW, and somewhat, now that they're going to be focusing mostly on digital and streaming, WWE allows people to do it through any recording means they have, and yet AEW, Impact, AEW, Impact, Ring of Honor, and NWA to an extent don't? What are your thoughts on this? Comment down below, live chat during the premiere, like the video, check me out at my Teespring store, also check me out at BW Roses, discussions on all your favorite audio podcast locations except for Pandora. Also check me out at BW Roses on VENMO. Also check me out at patreon.com/BW Roses to support me with a $1 or $3 tier. Also check me out at BW Rose, not BW Rose, but also check me out at Venmo at Brian-Walmer-2 to help donate there as well. But let me know what your thoughts are, guys. Comment below, live chat during the premiere, which again, super chats and super stickers are encouraged during the live chat of the premiere as well. But let me know what your thoughts are, and I'm out.